Sony and Honda have teamed up to create one of the most futuristic electric cars I've ever seen. This is Afeela, a new EV starting at just about $90,000 that has some pretty crazy features. But there's one thing about this car that I think a lot of people are gonna hate. Let's take a full look at the Afeela and see if it's worth it or not. First, let's talk about the design aesthetic. I think it looks really cool overall. I like the aesthetic that they've gone for. Very futuristic, very sleek, it's aerodynamic, it's covered in sensors. It actually has 45 sensors and cameras embedded throughout the car. You can very visibly see the LiDAR on top. It's pretty obvious, not as obvious as like Waymo's, but it is kind of ugly looking. And one of the coolest features of the exterior is this media bar. It's basically a digital display where you can show messages, animations, you can interact with pedestrians. Do we really need this? No, but I do think it's kind of fun that they added this. The interior has this wraparound dashboard that feels like it's straight out of a movie. It's the entire width of the car, so the drivers and the passengers have this immersive experience that quite honestly would be a bit distracting for the driver. I think the idea is one day it will be fully self-driving, so both people can kind of use this in the car. The steering wheel also is unusual. It's a yoke style, so similar to Tesla's. The car has an AI assistant that's pretty good. It's slightly slow to respond, but I feel like it's more advanced than the Tesla voice control.
Entertainment and convenience. How's your day going so far?
It's going well. How about you?
You're so polite.
I'm always at my best, ready to make your journey enjoyable. Any particular plans for the evening?
Just exploring the car.
And having a cocktail.
After. We're not driving, so...
That sounds like a delightful way to unwind.
So you can see it pauses for kind of a long time, but I'm sure over time this will get faster and better. The rear view mirror has the option to use a camera or an actual mirror, which I feel like is becoming kind of standard with a lot of new cars today. So kind of a cool feature. Another cool feature is you can actually play PlayStation games in the car when you're parked. Because Sony owns PlayStation, they integrated this into the car.
So like, can they use a controller or they can't do that?
So
Wow, really?
Yeah, you would need your controller.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, you have Spotify, you have Zoom.
Zoom?
TikTok.
I don't want that.
Oh my gosh.
Can we delete some? No, I'm kidding. No, Zoom, I mean, that actually could be useful.
Yeah.
Is there like a camera?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so there's cameras here,
TikTok.
cameras on the sides.
The noise canceling is good.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the front glass and the side glass is soundproof.
I like that they didn't forget about the back seat either. There's some screens back here so people can be entertained on long road trips, or imagine if you get in this and it's your Uber, like that would be pretty cool. So some pretty cool interior features, none of them totally necessary for a car, but some things we've never seen before. Okay, let's talk about the specs. What I think is most important is the range, and they're giving an estimated 300 miles per charge, which is decent but not amazing. You compare this to the Model S long range, which gets 405 miles, or the Lucid Air Grand Touring that can get like 500 miles of range. So Afeela, it's pretty good, but it's not the best ever. Even the cheapest new Model 3 has 60 miles more of range and is half the price of the Afeela. Another important factor is the speed of the charging. So the Afeela has pretty decent charging speeds. It can support 150 kilowatt DC fast charging, which means it'll add 150 miles of range in about 30 minutes. So that is pretty good. However, there are some Tesla superchargers now that can support 250 kilowatts. So there are Model S's that can add 200 miles in just 15 minutes. So Afeela, it's still pretty good, but it's not the fastest charging speed ever. A cool thing about this though is you will be able to use this at Tesla superchargers. You just have to have like a $10 a month subscription from Tesla, but that opens you up to this huge charging network, so you can take this car really anywhere. Overall, I was disappointed to see the range wasn't at the 400 level like some of the comparable EVs, but still, honestly, 300 is a pretty good amount. It's just for this price point that feels kind of low. Now let's talk autonomous driving features. And this is where I'm a bit disappointed with Afeela. Because it has LiDAR, I thought, you know what, maybe this will be like fully self-driving faster than Tesla. At this point, it's at level 2 autonomy, which is pretty similar to Tesla's basic autopilot. It's not as good as Tesla's full self-driving. And here's the kicker, the car doesn't come with the autonomous driving features. If you buy one of these, you get a 3-year complimentary subscription, but then after that, you have to pay for it each month. And this is really what I don't like about this car. I don't like when companies are trying to make us rent features of our car in general. I feel like this is going to turn a lot of people off from Afeela because quite honestly, it's not as good as Tesla's full self-driving, which you can pay a flat fee for. It's about the same as Tesla's basic autopilot, which comes with each Tesla. And I know I'm not trying to like promote Tesla anymore because I'm not a fan of Elon, but like I just have to be honest, this car is not as good as a Tesla.
So overall thoughts on Afeela, I love the interior. I love how they really brought what looks like a concept car. One of those cars you would see at CES that they never end up making, but they're actually making this. They're actually gonna start fulfilling orders in 2026. I mean, that interior, that wraparound screen, that is so cool, and it feels like it's ready to be fully self-driving. It's great for when eventually we don't have to drive and we can just use the screen for different things. It feels a little unnecessary right now, but overall, I like that interior. And I think the exterior looks pretty nice. But I think right now, $90,000 for 300 miles of range and autonomous driving that really isn't better than what Tesla has to offer just doesn't really feel worth it to me. You could get a Model S for that price. Heck, you could get a used Model S for $40,000 that has 400 miles of range and frankly, a better self-driving system. So I would likely do that. I mean, it's half the cost, it's more range, it's just a better car. And I hate to say that because I was honestly rooting for Afeela because I'm looking for a good alternative from Tesla. It just isn't quite there yet. Now, I do have hope that Afeela will have better self-driving technology eventually because they have LiDAR, which is what Waymo uses. Maybe they'll be able to be fully self-driving where you can literally sit in the backseat before Tesla. But right now it's not. Right now it's still about where the basic autopilot that comes with the Tesla is, but I think there's hope for the future. Overall, I'm rooting for Afeela. I would like to see them get there. It's still early, so it kind of makes sense. They're coming out with a really expensive model first, then maybe eventually there will be a cheaper one. I am all for any different brand trying to make fully self-driving electric cars, especially now more than ever, kind of like really rooting for a new brand. And honestly, I was hoping that this one would be better. I was hoping that it would be just fully self-driving. That's kind of what I assumed from the marketing, that it would be like, you can be in the backseat like a Waymo, but it's just not there yet, unfortunately. There's hope for the future. I'm still rooting for Afeela. I'm a little bit, I don't want to say disappointed, but like a little bit with the specs right now, although I still think it's a cool car. I'm hoping that maybe they get rid of that subscription model. I really hate seeing car companies do this. GM has started doing this as well with their cars, the Super Cruise technology. You get it free for a few years, then you have to subscribe to it. Afeela hasn't said what the cost will be, but based on the Super Cruise cost, it would probably be about $25,000, not $25,000. It would probably be $25 a month, but I don't want a subscription for anything in my car. If I'm buying a car for $90,000, I want it to come with everything. Those are my thoughts on Afeela. Again, I'm rooting for them. Let me know, what do you guys think below? Do you like it? Would you buy one? Okay, that's gonna be it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.